All we are ever consuming, never satiating bodies that are always consuming, and we are the puppets of neurotransmitters. You've heard the saying go, you are owned by your materials. You don't own your materials, but the materials own you. It's quite right.
How can you trick people into drinking something that comes out of your behind? It's disgusting.
Is it? Honey comes from a bee's behind. Milk comes from a cow's behind. And have you ever used toothpaste?
Whose behind does that come from?
You don't want to know.
You start consuming the day you were born, and it becomes the purpose of your life. Right now, why do you always consume? Because we're designed to do so. Your neurotransmitters, this is something that applies to literally each and every one of us. It decides where you are positioned in the society. Once just popped you out and unaware of how much a Rolex costs or what a Notion workspace is for. With time, you don't know about it, you start consuming. You're taking care of. Diapers cost an arm and a leg, let me tell you that much. So when you do have a child, be ready to spend your entire legacy on literally only diapers. You're put through education. You don't know why you're learning what you're learning, but you just have a curriculum to follow. The teacher has a timeline to meet. She's giving 10 chapters that she's to get over with in a time frame of 3 months, 4 months. Then comes the choice of who you're going to be, what you want to pursue. You think you're making the right choice, and sometimes you're led to make this choice. You have no control over it, but guess what? It doesn't matter. If you're not putting in 15 hours, you're not climbing up that social ladder. No matter what position you're in, it's your own enterprise. So it's a 9 to 5, and your average is staying stuck. And you start making them bucks. What do? You spend it. Making money. You're spending 15 hours a day just to spend money. Now the money that you're making on your employment or adding value to an organization, so that's split into possible income where you meet your utilities, your comfort, differentiated needs. Just comfort, let's put it at comfort, your aspirational needs, and the ones that serve your identity. Disposable income, and then you have the chunk that you're saving or investing. Now that again is a form of consumption. Consuming either ways. Does that say that you're perpetually only consuming? Let me bring you back to when you were born. You start consuming the day you were born, and it becomes the purpose of your life. Right now, why do you always consume? Because we're designed to do so. Your neurotransmitters, dopamine is the new favorite. There are a few types of, or we can put categories to consumption, right? So it can be physical, non-physical, monetary, non-monetary. Thanks to the COVID epidemic, gave us to this new form of consumption, the never satiating consumption and actual disposal. The endless scroll loop is a very quick, cheap dopamine, cheap consumption. Consumption starts with inception. You have the idea of, or you're just presented with the thought of consuming something. It goes from inception to the purchase trigger. Inception itself is triggered by the neurotransmitters. All we are ever consuming, never satiating bodies that are always consuming, and we are the puppets of neurotransmitters. I'm not going to tell you the kind of neurotransmitters that there are. Go ahead and read yourself. Now, what triggers the inception? Or interchangeably, I can say what triggers these neurotransmitters. There are about, I'll tell you 7 in this video. You can make separate videos on each of these. But there are external sensory stimuli, which is the sound, the sight, or the taste, or the touch. Internal cognitive loops. Now what that means is, can be a memory-based trigger, imagination, internal cognitive processes, it is also biological. The basic needs, which is food, water, rest. Say you're sad and you want to binge eat, you start craving for sweets. That's very biological, which brings me to emotional and psychological state, which is how you're feeling currently determines. It's also neurotransmitters, right? Like how you're feeling is the neurotransmitter. Emotions, that's the fourth one. The fifth one is your cultural and social condition, learned trigger. Wherever you are in the societal positioning, your consumptions are going to be correlated. This one is self-image and status, and the seventh one is automatic or repetitive behavior. Let me give you an example of something that's in your routine, right? Like say you have to wake up and wash your face, or say you have to brush your teeth. So that's very habitual, subconscious trigger. And there are two types of consumers: human consumers or artificial entities. How do artificial entities consume? Can be a car. You fuel your car, it's an artificial entity. You don't necessarily have to be the only consumers, but you're the owner of the artificial entity. This brings me to the fact that I realized that is actually this nature, this say homeostasis of us, which brings me to the capitalist system. We don't consume, or we don't purchase, or we don't interact with stores or say things you can buy with money. Don't do that because they exist. They exist because we are made to constantly consume. The second they satiate the problem they're trying to solve in your life, they're immediately out of business. And luckily for them, that's never going to happen. We're never going to stop wanting, we're never going to want to stop consuming. That's about it. That's all I wanted to tell you. What you have just seen is one of the phenomena that guides my further product, or say the further thesis or SSO, to a single source of truth. And more about that maybe in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you know why you're consuming, what you're consuming. Make a list of everything that you've consumed. Categorize them into physical, non-physical, monetary, non-monetary. Make a table, make a matrix. Just see what you've consumed in the last week or so. They are the determinants of where you are heading in your life. And the next time you feel like buying something, just know that you are the monkey, that your neurotransmitters are controlling. Yeah, take control over them. Be more assertive, be more confident. At the end of the day, I just want you all to go ahead and be problem solvers. Participate in this capitalist system that solve a pain point which is derived from the inception of consumption, and then you finish the loop by making a solution available to best fit this inception in the most efficient way possible. Some more meaningful solutions, not just make 10 skincare products that already exist. Nobody wants that. Nobody fucking wants that. Let's solve real problems. Let's make our lives even more meaningful. Let's also put rest to your fucking monkey mind. Thanks for watching.